are sleeping back there. We got to do something more. Are you all excited? Okay. Woo-hoo! 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 Woo! Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Any graduating apprentices here? All right, man, you guys made it. How many apprentices here? Any apprentices here? Okay, welcome. This is your new family. All right, awesome. Well, this is exactly how they used to welcome us at work every day. Yeah. For those of you who don't know us, we are Chetan and Vinita. I'm Chetan, she's Vinita. Okay, and we have been in the business for a while. And we are really blessed to actually be a part of this business. Make sure you get the good side, okay? All right, and we are blessed to be part of this business. We are blessed to be part of this organization. Yep. It's a privilege to talk in front of you. We have some incredible upline. You're going to hear some of them tomorrow, Raj and Sangeeta. We have some great OGO team, which has put this together, and the whole team of volunteers, everybody. This has been a first-class show so far. You know, I mean, Chuck and Uma, and Rashmi and Smita, and Ganesh and Rekha, and Vinny and Dana, and Tony, and Louis and Jackie. Oh my God. What a privilege to watch them move on and give hope to so many people. So you guys, if you've got your hearts open and your minds open, you are not going to be walking out of this room this weekend. You're going to be flying out of this room. You're going to be walking on water. You know, we are just like you. We've just been in the business a little bit longer. I have a few graduate degrees in engineering. Vinita is an MBA in finance, but thank God we found this business. And thank God we found this community. And it's a great privilege. You know, I am so proud of this lady standing right next to me. You know, we built this when we started. We were both single. We found ourselves in the business. We got married. We built the business. It's been amazing. So anything you can say, oh, you know, students can't do this. Oh, young couples can't do this. Oh, people with children can't do this. Oh, people with college-going kids can't do this. We've done it. And so have people on this side of the stage. So if you're looking for excuses in life, you'll always find them. But if you're looking for reasons to succeed, you'll find them right here. So, but anyway, guys, it's a privilege to share my life with this lady. Please help me welcome my wife, Vinita.
Thank you, Chetan. Wow. Wow, hello. It's so great to be with you all this evening. You know, I'm sure you're all excited. What an evening it has been so far. Are you all pumped up? The best is yet to come. This is just the beginning, right? So by tomorrow night, like Chetan said, you'll be flying out of the door. You'll be so excited. But this is what changed. You know, coming to events like this is what changed us, what changed the trajectory of our lives. You know, we are grateful to, I would first say thank you to God for giving us the vision to see what this business could do for us, to our lives. Thank you to our parents who gave us the great work ethic. And thank to our uplines who introduced us to the business, led us by their hand, you know, every step of the way. And here we are today. So just sharing a little bit, I'm going to start with a little story. How many of you like Starbucks coffee? It's an experience, right? Going to Starbucks is an experience. And it's about Howard Schultz, the founder of Starbucks. When he was growing up, he grew up in a low-income housing complex in Brooklyn, in New York. And his dad was a low-wage earner, did not have any health insurance, any kind of financial security, no benefits whatsoever. And at that time, when he was growing up, and they were struggling with all kinds of situations, he developed a desire. And he developed a vision to one day have a company that will treat their workers better. And when he grew up, he went to Italy. And there he saw community around coffee. Like people have little cafes, they sit around, they have coffee, they chit chat, they have a good time. And that's what he really liked. He says, I want to bring this experience to America. He came here, he came to America, and he pitched. He pitched to over 200 investors. Nobody agreed with what he had to share. Nobody was willing to invest in him or his idea, but he had a vision. He gave up his job and went through some financial situation. A lot of struggle because he had to support himself and also support his vision. Around that time, there were like a few investors believed in what he had to offer, and they were willing to invest in his idea. And that's how Starbucks came to come around. And so Starbucks offers health benefits to its workers, even to part-time workers. And that's because of Howard Schultz's dream and vision. So if you have a vision, if you have an emotional desire to do something, to change something, you can do it no matter what your situation is. You may be starting out as a single mom, you may be starting out as a student on a shoestring budget. But if you have an IBO number, you are a business owner. And what kind of mentality do you have when you are a business owner? This business is simple. There is no investment required from your end when you get started. No money investment required, only time, right? What are you willing to do? And so for us, we just got started like that. I was a student finishing up school. He had just graduated with his job. And I wanted to get out of my student loan, and I wanted to get out of my car loan, basically get out of debt, control time, control our financial situation, and build financial security for us. That is what drove us. So what are the things we were willing to do? Number one, we had to think like a business owner. And then we backed it up with the work ethic. Working like everything depends upon us, praying like everything depends upon God. To succeed, we realized that the only person we had to outwork was ourselves, nobody else. And with that in mind, we developed a sense of discipline. Discipline is the bridge between where you are today and where you want to be. Discipline helped us to develop those success habits by being accountable to our coaches. It helped us to develop those success habits, and then in turn helped us to form systems for us which helped us to grow and achieve our goals. It helped us to become resilient. You will go through rejections. You will go through people telling you things about the business. There are many naysayers around you. People who are not doing anything always have some opinion about what you are doing. You have to just block that out from you. Building an enterprise truly helps you find out what you are really made of, because you are going to go through some stuff. You're going to go through some challenges. The diamond plaque, what the diamond plaque says, it's what you become through the process. It's not who you are, but what you become through the process. What is diamond? Diamond is just coal that undergoes tremendous pressure, and it comes out shining as a diamond. Consistency, commitment to continuity builds character. So how we built our business? We built our business with a sense of urgency to achieve our short-term goals. And we had an intensity for achieving our short-term goals. But for our long-term vision, we had to stay consistent. We had to stay the path. And, a marathon runner, you're running a marathon, you'll go through some phases where there is nobody cheering you on. You are the only one cheering yourself up because you want to reach the finish line. They say everyone wants success, but not everyone is willing to become the person it requires. The difference is one acts and one just wishes. So don't be a wishful businessman. Be an entrepreneur, not a entrepreneur. And here's Chetan coming at.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right, guys. Wow, she's great or what? All right. Man, I'm telling you, we are the most blessed set of people here. You know, there's nowhere else in the world where you can come from any background, prove your sincerity to your upline team, be willing to roll up your sleeves and work hard, and get to really, literally, any level that you want. Of course, it's going to require work. Sometimes it's going to require a lot of work. The bigger the business you want to put together, the more work it's going to require. That's common sense. You know, big companies like, you heard of Jeff Bezos and Amazon. Amazon didn't turn a profit for decades. You know, now I'm not saying your business is not going to be profitable. In fact, some of you are here to make $500, $600 a month. That's wonderful. God bless you. And you can do it in short order. And you should do it in short order. However, understand that some people, different people, go to school for different reasons. They go to gym for different reasons, and they'll build this business for different reasons. Some of you are in to make a little bit of money. Wonderful. But what I want to talk to is people who want to live an uncommon life, have the ability to live an uncommon life. You know, December end, we got news that our awesome upline, Jody Victor, passed away and went to be with the Lord. And in January, there was a celebration of life, of his life. And for those of you who don't know, Jody is from Akron area. And I'm a Buckeye. I went to school there. I went to grad school. Originally, I'm from India. So for me, home starts with Ohio. And I didn't know Jody Victor and Kathy Victor and the Victor family, they opened the doors for this entire organization. They're amazing. They have huge hearts. So we wanted to be there. And we went to that celebration of life. And in a small church, there were literally thousands of people, the whole parking lot. Now, this was in Canton, Ohio. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Ohio or not, but Canton, Akron, these are all small towns in Northeast Ohio. Not necessarily the richest part of even Ohio. But guess what? And then there was a little banquet hall we met at. It was 2,000 people. The entire lot of the executive team at Amway. Many people from the board, at the IBA board, which represents you. And I was interested in getting to know. But I was most interested in getting to know the people who were sitting around my table. Who were they? Why were they there? And those of you who don't know the story of Jody and Kathy, it actually starts with Joe Victor, his dad, who was a milkman. And all he had was a dream was to make a little bit more money for his family. And he built his business to a large level. And then Jody went and built it further. And I saw people there. Not all of them were IBOs. Many of them had been impacted by what Jody and Kathy did in their neighborhood. Many of them were impacted by the charities they gave to. Many of them were impacted by what they directly did with their life in theirs. You know, and some of them didn't even speak English. Like me. You know, it's a joke, you can laugh. Okay. The point, what I'm trying to make is this. One small dream. It started as one small dream and it ripple effects around the world. All ethnicities, all people, you know, and guess what? That is what somebody's life can be. I'm not saying that's what your life is going to be. Your life is going to be what you choose to be. But it can be somebody's life. And that's a life well lived. You know, and that is what this business allows us to do. Unfortunately, when you're outside in society is all about, hey, what can I do for myself? But the amazing thing in this business is what you are going to only become somebody if you're willing to open your heart and extend your hand and make something happen. And I know everybody wants to lead hundreds and then thousands and tens of thousands of people. But the person you have to first learn to lead is you. And you have to ask yourself, how badly do I want this? Am I, as Vinita said, am I a wantrepreneur or am I an entrepreneur? The reality is that today, when we started in the business, back in the day, there was no apprentice program. You actually bought into the business, you bought the tools, you did all that, you came to meetings, you paid for the tickets, you did that. And I'm so glad we have the apprentice program. However, oftentimes when people come in as apprentice, sometimes they may or may not realize that it's a real business and it requires real investment. One of the great things that paying the price at that time did is it separated the people who were entrepreneurs from who are wantrepreneurs. And so what is the difference? What is the difference? Entrepreneurs, how it is, guys would come in and, sort of say, oh man, I'm so fired up. This meeting, oh man, this Tony guy, how long did it take him to go diamond? Have you had somebody join your business? This Tony guy, how long did it take for him to go diamond? Oh, whatever it is, I don't know how long it took Tony to go diamond. Oh, I'm going to do it in 5 months, dude. Watch me. And you're watching them. And 5 months later, you can't find them. We have had many of those people. I used to lose hair about it. Now I've stopped losing hair about it. Okay? Well, here's the thing. That's a wantrepreneur. What does an entrepreneur do? It's all talk. These entrepreneurs, they're all talk. Sometimes they get in the business. They're fired up. They don't take any action. They're coming up with the perfect time management calendar. What do entrepreneurs do? They don't have to have perfect knowledge. They take action. Guys, I don't know. My coach and people in my upline, I don't think more than 4 what's equivalent of MGs were done for me. I figured if somebody's going to say, no, I might as well talk to them. It was a different process, but we had a process. A bias to action. You have to act. Don't just, sometimes I feel that, it's good to learn. Don't get me wrong. But there can be something as too much learning. You have knowledge constipation. Is that an X-rated word or whatever? But hey, sorry, English is my 27th language. So, do something, man. Out of doing something, you'll learn something. All the great companies, they do thousands of experiments. They cut out. Most of the stuff doesn't even make it. Because that's how you learn. Failure is a stepping stone to success. Entrepreneurs just have wants, they have priorities, but they never make commitments. You got to commit to this thing, man. It can't be that, I'm going to do it when, after I've done my workout and after I've done my meditation and after I've gone to work and I've put this report through, when a little bit of time is left, then I'm going to build my future. Well, you probably don't know. Maybe the problem is you don't really know what you want. You don't have a definite major purpose, a burning desire. Figure out what it is that you want, but you've got to make some priority. Nothing great in life happens without putting in time. Nothing great in life happens without doing the grind. There's other guys. They say, it was easy. I have people come to me, Chetan, your time it was easy to build the business. Today, it is so hard. It is hard to build the business. It's called excusitis, the ultimate failure disease. Things are going to happen in everybody's life. the difference between animals and humans is that we have this unique ability to observe our own thinking. And if you actually see people who are successful, they take responsibility. If you break down the word responsibility, it's response and ability. They choose the response to the situation. You know, it's a great time to build the business. I was talking to some IBOs. I talked to one IBO and he said, you know what, it's really hard to launch people right now. People are so scared, their jobs are going away, ChatGPT is taking everything over. I don't know what's going on. Okay, the other guy says, man, it's such a great time to build the business. Everybody's scared of losing their job. It is time to show the plan. It is time to take people through the process. How are you going to respond? I know, and here's the problem. I feel for you guys. Most of you work, right? Is that right? You all work for someone? You go to an office, and there are people, and most people are negative. And they will say, so, I was a very cut and dry kind of guy. So people would come to me and they tell me, so when we started the business, today, right now, people are scared about the war. Things are getting bombed overseas, this is happening, that is happening, oil is going to go to $1,000 a barrel or something like that, and the whole world is collapsing. Oh my God. First of all, switch off the internet, switch off your TV. Okay? You do not focus. Entrepreneurs don't focus on things they cannot control. You can't control it. So the same thing was happening when I was working. There were wars at that time too. There were recessions then too. And people would be scared then too. And you ask them a simple question, so what are you going to do about it? And if you're not willing to do anything about it, you have no right to complain. Hello? My mind is off, man. I do not want to talk to that person. I am looking for guys who can see the world in the vision that they want to shape it in. Who can see, and you're not looking for visionaries. The vision just has to extend. For Joe Victor, it just extended for him to do something great for his family. In doing something great for his family, he changed lives of so many people. So you don't have to be the Dalai Lama or whatever, or some great visionary. Just focus on your future, man. Focus on things you can control. Sometimes people come and say, oh, but if this, you start where you are with what you have. That's what entrepreneurs do. Entrepreneurs waiting for everything perfect. Like in India, there might be one or two Indians in the room. So they have some people, they actually have go to the priest and they have this auspicious timing. When all the stars will align, when they'll be facing the right direction, that's when they will start their own business. Dude, I say, if God made the day, if God made the second, it's good timing. How about that? It is good timing. If you are here, if you can breathe, if you have a dream, if you have a coach that supports you, if you have a system, if you have somebody who's willing to say, man, for every hour you put in, I will help you, it's good timing. What are you going to do with it? I have a saying. I have my own sayings. And one of the sayings I have for myself is life is not a spectator sport. You can't watch. It's great. It's great to come here. It's great to get inspired by people who are building the business, who are doing things you want to do. It's wonderful. But if all you did was get inspired but did not act, can I be honest with you? You wasted the weekend. That's the point, is for you to act. All right? And some people, entrepreneurs, they have too many shiny objects. So I know some guys. I have a rich business experience, not just in this business, in many other businesses. And I have people in the VC space and things like that, I talk to some young entrepreneurs too once in a while. And they're excited. They want to do 4 things at one time. This is so good, this is so good, and have you heard about that crypto thing, man? Did you know that guy? And did you know this? And now you can make money on betting markets, and now you can do this. I said, relax. One thing at a time. If you don't have a foundation, you can't do anything. Was that there used to be this poster that was, a man who has his eye on eagle who has his eye on 2 rabbits catches none. Focus. Sometimes I see entrepreneurs have to be resilient. Entrepreneurs have to be able to handle setbacks. It is possible that you're 6'15" and now you are just here by yourself. It can happen. That's life. We do not control what happens in life. We only control how we respond to it. Now, what are you going to do? That is the moment of truth. Are your dreams faded away? Are you going to look at your dreams and say, yeah? Most people have to understand success is not a straight line up and to the right. You go through a lot of ups and downs. Have you seen those stone cutters? They're hammering away, hammering away, hammering away. Nothing is happening to the stone. Maybe the 150th hit at the same spot, it perfectly cleaves into 2. And sometimes success is like that. You're growing your business, nothing is happening. Tomorrow, you're going to hear Louis and Jackie. You're going to hear their story. And you're going to see, like all diamonds, they toiled and they toiled and they toiled and they toiled and nothing was happening and nothing was happening and nothing was happening and nothing was happening. And boom, the compound effect kicks in. But you have to give it enough time and enough effort for the compound effect to kick in. Sometimes, keep your eyes on the ball. I don't have time left. I have a few other tips, but keep your eyes on the ball, guys. Don't let failure derail you, but don't let success derail you either. I have seen more people get a $10,000 increment at their raise at their job, or maybe even a fancy title, or maybe it's a really good thing, and we want it for you. We want, as an organization, for you to excel in every area of your life. But excelling in that area should not mean you're giving up on your dream for what you want. So, winning is fun. The best thing that will happen to you is you will grow to love yourself. Nothing can shake your tree. Why? Because you are an overcomer. And there's very few people like you. Can you all say that? I'm an overcomer. I will become. Nothing will stop me from achieving my goals. We love you guys. God bless you. We'll see you at the top.
For the calendar year 2025, the average income from Amway for all U.S. registered IBOs at the founder's platinum level and below was $750 before expenses. See www.amway.com/income-disclosure for details and the most up-to-date information. Earnings depend on many factors, including customer base, business experience, effort, dedication, and quality and performance of the downline sales team.